Mic check, my mic check. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Today, we're going to talk about some self-hating ass Negroes. No, not just kidding. No, we're going to talk about a viral video, a viral conversation that's gotten the internet in flames. A self-hating ass Negro boldly claimed that Black women are bullies in relationships. And as you can imagine, people have a lot to say. Now, are Black women really too aggressive in relationships? Or is this just another tired, whack-ass stereotype? I don't know. What is the real story behind these relationship dynamics, and why does this stupid-ass narrative keep coming up? Let's get into it. So I want to introduce the most amazing panel on the planet. First up, we got Dr. Alicia. She is a doctor. She's a coach. She is a mentor. She is a trainer. She is a professor. She is all of the things. And then we have Miss Lala, international real estate agent, putting it all together. And she's ready. I see that. Aisha is a financial planner, right, Aisha? Yes, she is a financial planner. Yes. And then we got Dr. Joe. Ooh, I was not going to say Big Head Joe. I'm saying Dr. Joe here today to therapize us all, because listen, this whack-ass, self-hating ass Negro needs some therapizing. And I think Dr. Joe is just the person here to do it. Y'all, what's the first thing that you think when you hear a person? Let's just say a person. We're not even going to say a Black person. We're not going to say a self-hating ass Negro. We're going to say a person. What's the first thing you think of when you hear a person say, I don't date within my race? Dr. Alicia, what's the first thing that you think of this person when you think? Do they got mental illness issues? What is it? Because that's what I think.
Well, I'm not going to diagnose anybody, but I always start to wonder about the reasons why. Are they conscious of why they're deciding that the smog of their own race is not acceptable, is not worthy of love? And so it makes me wonder, what is it about themselves that they feel like is not worthy? So of course, you start to wonder about where these ideas come from. And I think all of us need to take some time out to just think about where our thoughts come from and where our beliefs come from, so that we can know ourselves a little better.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. I like that. What about you, Joe? I want to get to the doctors first. What do you think?
I always just kind of wonder what happened to him. That's all. You know,
who hurt him?
Him or her? Him, them,
or her? Yeah.
What happened?
Uh-huh.
How did you get to that conclusion?
Yeah, I understand. What about you, Aisha? What do you think when you hear somebody say, "I don't date within my race"? You're muted, babe.
Sorry about that. I feel the same way. It's what happened. What is the backstory?
Mm-hmm. Okay, what's the backstory? And then for you, Lala.
Same thing. I always wonder what the backstory is. Something had to have happened. Like in my case, before we broadcast, my birth mother is white, and she did not date anybody that was vanilla. Nah. And she made it a point. All 15 of us kids are mixed with something, but she explained to us that her father was massively racist, and she really bucked against that. So that was her reasoning.
I didn't know you came from a family of 15. Wow.
Maybe if we can find all of them on her side, I don't know. I mean, she was a wild card, and I've never been quiet about that. I was very blessed that I was raised by my father's side of the family. Not that she was bad, but she made a really wise decision by allowing someone else to raise me.
How many baby daddies?
I can't count.
Wow. Okay. All right. So let's look at the video that prompted this conversation, because I think that'll really kind of give us context as to why we're even addressing it. So let's look at the video.
Also in a interracial marriage. I've been at parties where they were like, "Oh, you playing in the snow?" And I was like, well, I don't want to play in the mud. I want to get dirty now. I've dated Black girls before. It just didn't work out. They were trying to bully me all the time. Depending on where I'm at in the country, if I'm like in, Maryland, I can feel the tension. I can feel like, you can't handle a strong woman. I was like, you might be right. Being in a barbecue full of homies, and everybody there is black, and they're all dating black chicks, and I'm not. And I'm like, that's your guys' problem. I was like, who's all stressed out here? Not my black ass. You all are.
So this man goes sit up here in this white woman's chair and degrade black women. All right, Joe, what you think?
Oh man, you know, I never want to knock anybody for who they love, right? That's you love who you love, but the time he took to, you know, to call black women stressful and call it mud and all that, that's some real self-hating stuff right there. And you know, more than racist, I've said before, I am very curious about the mindset of the coon.
Oh,
I want to take a deep dive into coondom. How do we get here? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I would like to sit down and talk to this brother and like go through his genogram, his history, you know what I mean, and find out where exactly he decided that the best possible path for him was to hate himself.
okay, Lala, what about you? Do you want to take a deep dive into the coondom?
You know, yes, I would like to know, because his whole attitude was just shitty. I didn't like that at all. I mean, it wasn't about, to me, it wasn't about you love who you love. You can tell that difference. He's just bound and determined, to me, to put black women down. Not all black women are like that. Okay. We all have different personalities. We all speak differently. I got 9 aunties. Okay. Every last one of them had different personalities. Okay. And one was overbearing. One was the gossip. One was the loving. We're not all the same. So what has happened in his ridiculous world that he feels that he should put all of us down when we don't fit in the box?
Yeah, exactly. It's an excuse. It sounds like an excuse to me. I mean, like you said, love who you love, but you can do it without having to put a whole race of women down, because we're all very different. You just don't like black skin, in my opinion. But what do you think, Aisha?
I absolutely agree. Just hear him speak. Wow, what happened to you? Something must have happened to you to actually cause you to feel so little about yourself, right? Because there's no reason for you to talk about anybody in that fashion, no matter what it is that you think you like or you don't like. Nobody really cares. But the way you're bringing everybody down with yourself, to me, is evident that something happened to you that you should go take care of, because it was also unnecessary. And it actually is laughable the way he was talking, because it's a reflection of him.
Right.
He doesn't realize that
he doesn't realize
of you, not us, but you. Right. So that was how I felt.
Yeah. The idea, Dr. Alicia, that this man said he'd rather play in the snow than the mud, as if we are dirty. What does that say about this coon?
You know what? This is what you see when oppression has been internalized. Internalized oppression means that you are adhering to stereotypes about people of your own race. And that's what happens when you've been oppressed. You are subjected to stereotypes, and stereotypes is just an elaborate word for lies, lies about you. And that's what happens to oppressed groups. And when you internalize those things, you have these distorted messages about people that you incorporate. And it happens a lot for all of us on a very subconscious level. We have these internalized negative messages that's reinforced in the media, reinforced in a way that's not very it's oppressive. So what does oppressive mean? It means that I'm not seeing you for who and what you are. I'm seeing you through the lens of these stereotypes because of slavery and racism and all of these ills. So this is the byproduct when racism and oppression is just occurring, and it's a survival mechanism. You have to look at it like that. Like, he's not looking at Black women with compassion and understanding, because as a race of people, we haven't been looked at that way. And so I have other thoughts about that, but initially that's my thinking, internalized oppression, especially when Black women have been so loyal to Black men, and you got the stats on that.
Yeah, let's look at the
how
stats
it
on that.
hurts.
Bring that
It's
slide
a
up.
painful thing.
Yeah, no, bring that slide up. To your point, I do want to look at that slide, because we are the most, we are the loyalists. We date outside our race the least. See, Black women are the least likely to date outside their race compared to other demographics. Marriage rates among Black Americans are lower than other racial groups. Studies show that many Black women feel pressured to soften themselves in relationships, while others push back against the idea that they should be more submissive. That's interesting. Is anything wrong with preference, Lala? A Black man having preference?
There's nothing wrong with preference. We all have our own preference of what we are attracted to. But what this really brings up in me and makes me sick to my stomach, really, really does, is the fact that, do you not respect your mother?
Yeah.
Oh, where is this coming from? Was it his mother that was overbearing that has now caused this? We don't know.
Yeah.
But the fact is, we all have a mama.
Mhm.
And if that's his first experience, that would explain it. But listen, it's okay to have your personal preference. You know, I always got teased because I liked all the colors of the rainbow. I liked chocolate. I liked them all. I ended up with a light colored man with green eyes, and people tease us all the time about, y'all ain't making no dark babies. You know, it's just a joke. It's just your personal preference. And to me, it's not necessarily looks. It's actually more of what your heart is. That's what I look for. I'm just one of those empathy little Pisces babies, but you know, that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah. You know, my cousin, who's a year older than me, when he was younger, when we were younger, he used to get beat by his mom, beat really, really bad. It was terrible. But I know that he told me, like, when he was in elementary school, he had this crush on his teacher. She was a white woman, and she was the first adult woman that had been really nice to him. And so he had this affinity towards white women at that point. So he only dated white girls, and he ended up marrying a blonde hair, blue-eyed white woman. That was the total antithesis of his Black, brutal, abusive mom. And so in that case, I understand, because for him at that time, Black women was a representative to him mentally of someone who, you know, beat him. So I get that. So to your point, Joe and Alicia, like, yeah, who hurt you? Like, why? You know, why are you traveling down this road where you rather paint a group of women with a broad brush and you call us mud? And don't nobody want your alien ass looking ass self in the first place. Like, you are not no Black woman's top choice. But the fact that you have the audacity to call us mud. I'm going to get to your comment right after we come back from break. Okay, Dr. Alicia?
It's a good show right here, but I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
So Black Lexicon said, I thought I saw was the rebellion of an emasculated man. That's what it kind of looks like to me. But Dr. Alicia, I know you wanted to say something, but it does sound like he sounded very emasculated.
Yes, shout out to Black Lexicon. He's on it because that's the reaction to Black men who have been rejected by whiteness, who have been on the receiving end of some sort of oppression from white people. Their response psychologically is like, really? So you're going to discriminate against me because I'm black? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to date a white woman, and I'm going to show you that I'm going to get back at you because I'm not allowed in these circles. So psychologically, it's like, I got you now. I got your lady.
You know, that's like going to the Louis Vuitton. That's like going to the Louis Vuitton store and get discriminated against, and then you buy everything in the Louis Vuitton store because you can. Like, I'm not paying these motherfuckers nothing.
Yes, it's an unconscious way of saying you want to reject me. Well, I'm gonna show you. It's not conscious thing. People don't do it consciously, but it's a status symbol. I'm not saying for everybody. There's real love out there. But as a reaction to racism, it's a status symbol to say, oh, really? You're going to push me aside? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to date your ladies. Now what?
So to piggyback off of that in terms of like a status symbol, because I've heard that before, like dating a white woman is a status symbol. For a lot of white people, dating black people is a sexual fantasy that they've had. Have you seen that a lot, Joe, where people think that this is some type of status symbol? Like when we see, like NFL players, the first thing they do is they get them a white girl. Like, is that a status symbol?
I don't know if we still doing that today. You know what I mean? I really think that, sometimes when I observe the younger generation, they just don't have the same feelings about these situations as the generation prior to them. So they don't have the same kind of hangups or hesitations about dating outside their race, in my opinion, that I've noticed from people that are like, 35 plus. So I don't know if it's a status symbol. Maybe in prior years, it would probably be considered a status symbol, forbidden situation. You feel like you are stepping over or conquering something that you never got a chance. I don't know, but I don't know. But I do want to answer one of those questions that Vincent put out there to Dr. Alicia about when women divest from their men. Is that also, because I don't know if it is or it isn't. I'm curious to know. Is that also internalized depression when they decide to divest from their own race as well?
That's actually a good question. And I would love because I think we do have a double standard, a lot of black women, right? And so when we see a black man with a non-black person, but when we see a black woman with a non-black person, sometimes they'd be like, go girl. So what is that about? Is that a double standard, Lala? Or actually, let me ask you first, Aisha, then I'll go to you, Lala.
That's a good question as well. I'm not sure about that. I think the amazing thing about, this topic we're having today is how it's incredible how really is the history of everything that's causing this. Because if you grew up in another country where this is not part of your culture, it's not even what you think about. But because of our culture in America, you can just see the divide. What if you see that somebody of a different race marries somebody different, it just stands out to you so like huge because of the history, right? And then it waters down whether or not maybe you like this person because you love them, or is it because of a status, or is it because you're trying to get back at someone? It's so sad, but it's because again of the history. And I think for me, my heart is when will it be okay for all of us, our people to move past that, right? It's going to take some work, but to see somebody like us speaking in that fashion does make us feel like, wow, that's crazy. You had a mother that was black, right? So what are you talking about? So it's just so amazing how it still goes back to the beginning. Go back to the beginning, and it's all about, again, the history of this country and what it does.
You're right, because you're saying, when will we get past that? When America gets past race? When will America get past race? Race is a construct that was created by America to divide and conquer. And so it's in the forefront of everything because it's embedded in the DNA of this country. But for you, Lala, what do you think it is, when you have black women who look at black men who date outside their race and they be like, but then when they see another cis, they're like,
it's really interesting. I wish I could pinpoint that, because you don't see it too often. You're seeing it more and more. But a lot of my girlfriends who are single, they're at the point now where they feel like they are ready to date outside of their race, but they took a long time trying to find someone within the race, because we are dedicated to our men. But you know, they're like, I want to be with someone that respects me. But then when you see people like Eve, and you see people like Serena Williams, and you know, those people, you know, people are always like, she had to go to a white man. So it's like, you can't have the double standard. It either is or isn't. And I think it all boils down to how you feel inside on why that bothers you the most. You need to check yourself on why it bothers you, because honestly, whatever they're doing is they're going to do it anyway. This man is
Right.
hell bent on
Right.
calling us mud. All
Mm.
right. So that's his thing. Now, for me, that makes me personally sick to my stomach. I don't want anyone to do that about anybody. You don't generalize anybody, but it is definitely an interesting standard, because it depends. Is it on money? Is it on, you know, are they seeing these rich women as now going with the rich white men to level up on their side? And look at the whole glow up thing, that like these white men that are married to black women. There's a whole thing about, I glowed up. And now that's a trend. So I don't know what the hell is behind all of it. It's really quite confusing.
Yeah, you brought up actually a lot of good points. I mean, because basically, like whoever he prefers, we ain't checking for him anyway. And what he eats don't make us shit. So why we care? But I don't like the whole idea of you generalizing all black women. And when you talked about Eve and Serena, like that doesn't look like a fun life to me. They don't look like they're having fun. And if I'm with somebody, like I gotta be able to tell your mama jokes. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be able to laugh. They ain't telling your mama jokes with them white people. I'm telling you, they not having a good time with them white boys. They might be comfortable, but you gotta, you know, if for me, like if I'm dating a white man, you gotta hold back a little bit. You know, I talk too black. I, you know, say things that, you know, when I was in San Diego last weekend with my family, and San Diego's a very mixed city, right? A lot of interracial. And a lot of my cousins had non-black, all of them, the boys, the guys that were like 30s, 40s, I would say, probably 20s, 30s, 40s, had white women. And they was about 600 pounds. And I was like, they got these nice looking young men with these women that look like trailer trash. And if I don't give a damn if they see me or not, that's what me and my cousins over there talking about. But it's like, y'all choose the worst. And then I got to censor my conversation around these people, because you can't say everything in front of mixed company. So, you know, I would have a really hard time at making that transition to dating outside my race, just being comfortable and just being able to just be me. That has to be, I would say, difficult. But Dr. Alicia, why is it that black women will give a pass to black women, but not necessarily to black men?
Because maybe they identify with them. They're like, okay, maybe you just frustrated because you're by yourself and the numbers ain't looking that great. And then you go ahead. It's like, okay, go on, girl. You know, I understand that. It's almost like the last resort. I guess we'll just try to date outside our race because we just tired of waiting on these black men who don't even want us. They don't want us. Then I might as well just go and be with someone else. It's like, it's the last resort. And this is our identification with the struggle. We identify with the struggle. Like black women, we just are sensitive and empathetic, and we're on the receiving end of all of these hurtful, hateful stereotypes. When even though we're hurt, we still are loyal. We still wait around. We still forgive. We still take on. When we're actually behaving just like Italian. Have anybody been around Italian women?
No, but you told us that like they worse than we are. Huh?
Italian women are louder than we are, you know, but they're seen as, they're still like, their status in the family is beautiful. No one looks at them as terrible. Even my neighbor was Greek. And I went to her house. It was loud in that house. Like you think it was, you close your eyes, you think you were in a black house. It was loud. It was all of this thing, but they never were on the receiving end of, you're not worthy of being loved. You need to shut your mouth and be quiet and take on this whiteness. When I hear this, where black women need to close their mouth, when black women need to just bow down to the black man and all of these things, that's whiteness. That is whiteness, because I don't see that with other ethnic groups. They embrace themselves. Hispanic culture too. Thank you. I choose better. Yeah, those Hispanic women are running that kitchen. Get out of the kitchen. This is what we do. And so they're supported in their feminine ways of taking care of everybody. And so it just, you know, I think that Black people just need to take a look at the messages that we see. We need to be very conscious of what's happening and how it colors the way we see everybody, and to stop being just unfair to Black women. We're betwixt and between, and we're absorbing. We're taking care of the kids. We're taking care of everybody. We're giving excuses to everyone. And I really do think that it needs to be a little bit more compassion there. Yeah.
Amen. You are right. And for the ones who will only exclusively date out their race, they will date a whale of a white woman before they allow their Black wife to be the same size, which is crazy. But anyway, we'll talk more about it when we come back from the break.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Silver Freak said, don't nobody want a big Black woman. See, he probably got him a big white woman, 600-pound life, probably feeding her and everything. She smell like spoiled milk. That's what y'all want. That's what you self-hating ass Negroes want. I mean, that's what it is. Let's go to this next video and just explore this a little bit more.
Mad at me for dating outside my race, but I was dating outside of my race because they were doing things better than my race. I was dating Puerto Rican, I was dating Dominican, I was dating African, I was dating all type of other really size American Black, right? They were doing way more of what we expect we want our woman to do more than our American. Our American got real comfortable with.
Give me some examples.
I didn't have to really say much to do and be treated like a king. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times with our own American Black, they expect so much of us and what we're supposed to do.
But what you're really missing here is the piece that you talk about, the enslavement part. The culture and the trauma that African American men and women and children have faced in this country is unlike any other group. And so when we talk about trauma, what we know is that Black people have a lot of unprocessed trauma. We have a lot of hurt. We have a lot of harm, not just back then, but right now on the daily, right? He says that trauma decontextualized within a person looks like personality. And that trauma decontextualized within a family looks like family traits. And that trauma decontextualized within a people looks like culture. Right. And so when you talk about how African American women present and what they need as it relates to security and finances and the finer things in life, and to look a certain way and to want a certain thing from their man and to have certain expectations, it's because of the trauma that we are still trying to survive. And when we talk about feeling beautiful and the BBLs and the Birkin bags and the wanting the nice things and wanting their men to come with a certain level of care and a certain level of treatment and expectation, we are trying to connect. We are trying to heal with you. We are trying to build with you. But there's so much hurt and trauma that we all have that we don't talk about, that we don't even understand within ourselves, so that we can't find who we're compatible with. Because who we're compatible with is traumatized versions of ourselves. Spirit, do you think that?
Yeah. And I'm so glad that she broke it down in the way that she did. And she was very compassionate, and I like my friend April, my good girlfriend April, her brother only dates like Dominicans. And these bitches is crazy. They're like rangy, right? And we can say all Dominicans, and every Dominican he's dated has been on 10, crazy. I've seen April on the phone with this lady for hours while she's ranting and raving and all this other stuff. But are we painting all Dominicans with this broad brush? And the way this man said that Dominicans serve him and Black women don't. So, miss me with that silly ass bullshit BS. Dr. Alicia, what do you think about this video? Like when I see it, I just,
Oh my God. Listen, everybody, y'all watch 90 Day Fiance. I love that show. It's what I do when I want to unwind at the end of the day. Watch that show, 90 Day Fiance. You think that getting your passport and going somewhere else, you're going to find something better? That show is a mess. And it tells you about how the double standard, that you could go to another country because westernized women aren't fit to be wives. But these women and these men in these other countries have a lot of issues, just as much issues. If anything, listen, you could be, it's like you're playing in Wrigley Field and some of these people are playing in Comiskey Park. It's a whole nother ballpark. You are dipping into something that it colors you the way you see things. So how is it the double standard is there when yes, like the Dominican example that you gave, when those women and don't hold up those stereotypes, but you give them a pass, they come to America and everything is different. Yeah. You give them a pass, but you don't give your own person a pass. So it's something that we really need to dig into, the biases. We really need to just consciously start, yes, passed up port brothers. Yeah. And get into that healing. Yeah. I love that.
Lala, what did you think when you see that? And I have another question, a follow-up question after that. What did you think when you see that?
Okay, you want to be treated like a king, but are you treating them like a queen?
You're acting like a peasant.
Right? So iron sharpens iron.
That part.
And if you're bringing paper, bro, you're gonna get paper. So I don't agree with that at all. The fact that that's the first thing that came out of his mouth tells me he has serious issues about that. To me, where do you put the value on women? Are they subservient? Do you not see them as equally yoked as you? That's very, very important to me, because you should see no one that is beneath you, period. And if that's the issue, you need therapy, because it's on you. Wherever you go, that is where you are. And if you continue to have these problems in these relationships, it comes a time where you need to step back and look at yourself.
Yeah, there's a difference between a man and a male. You know what I mean? But my follow-up question to you, Lala, you being from California, I know you're not originally from California, but you lived there quite some time. I'm from California, born and raised. And there's this thing about these men in California who just don't mess with Black women. They just don't like Black women. And when I grew up, we were definitely not the choice. We were definitely not preferred. They had to be Filipino, anything but Black. And if they did mess with a Black girl, then she had to be mixed. But when I came here to the East Coast, like they like us all shades, all shapes, all size. Like they love Black women, which I absolutely love. I'm in like heaven. But what do you think it is about that culture of Black men in that area who just their preference for the most part is not us?
Because a lot of the times, look at the history. A lot of the times, many of us from the South moved to the West Coast looking for better lives. They wanted to leave a lot of that behind. They don't really identify with the same type of struggles that men from the South and men from the East had to go through when the migration went from South to North. They brought that love of Black women there because they all struggled. That's not to say that's everybody. I don't believe in putting everybody in a group. But when you do look at the history of where you moved from South to West, that's a different thing, because now you got the Hollywood look. Now you got the we West Coast. We ain't got them winters. We ain't got to wear that. We could wear our whatchamajigga. And that mentality came with it. Whereas people who migrated mostly from the South to the North and to the East, they brought their families with them. They understood the struggle a little bit more. They were still a little bit too close to that Mason-Dixon line to want to shun one another, whether the line from the East to the West were. That's my theory.
Okay, that's a good history lesson. That's a great perspective. Hadn't thought about it like that, because it's just culturally it's extremely different. And them some weak ass males, but out here I see some really good strong ass men. But Aisha, what was your thoughts when you saw that little whack ass ninja on the video?
When I heard him talking, I listened intently because in a way I can see why he said that. because I was born and raised in Nigeria. That was my identity. That's how I was raised, and as a woman, there's a way we are raised communally. So there's a way you behave that's different from American women. It's just the truth. But the double standard is people think we're weak because we're from other countries, but that's not true. We're very opinionated. We're loud. We want what we want as well, but it's just done differently. And that's why, because we have our uncles and our dads telling us, kicking us under the table. Okay, don't do that, right? So you have this calibration all the time with your family around you. So it helps you to kind of calibrate yourself wherever you go. You know how to speak and not speak, and when to not do something. So that kind of helps. It does help you when you have that growing up, where people are constantly helping you to calibrate, even though you're upset or you have an opinion. Your dad may say, okay, not right now, wait, do it at the right time. So it does make a difference. I can see why he said that, but don't get it twisted. We also are opinionated. We know what we want, and we're not behind pretending like we're weak women. That's not true at all. But it's just the way we present ourselves and how and what time we do it. I think that does make a difference. So that's what I thought when you were speaking.
That makes a lot of sense too. I actually disagree with Robert. I think you guys are weak out there. I wouldn't date a dude from California if you paid me. But Joe, what was your thoughts on this guy?
My mind goes back to more thinking about the reality. Yeah, no, even deeper than that though, because not the insults and stuff, that's cooning, but the feelings of not wanting to date within your race, that's something else. That's emotional. That's lived experience. That's some other things. So I think about like 1 to 2, maybe 3 generations that have been birthed from very hurt, distraught Black women, right? So the first relationship that you have with a woman as a man is with your mother, whether she raises you or not. Whatever relationship, what comes of that relationship when you're dealing with someone who has been, disappointed and hurt over time, especially, by their own men. Like this, that we've heard this story over and over again. So how does that person engage with their son? I saw something the other day on the internet that said if a son comes from a hurt or a traumatized Black woman, he's cooked. And my first initial thought when I heard that was, that's correct. If that man doesn't get himself into therapy early and, readjust his thinking and his self-belief or his beliefs around what it means to be in a relationship with a Black woman, he's going to be cooked. Whether he gets into a relationship with a Black woman or not, he's not going to be healthy, because his first relationship was with this woman who is charged with loving him, but what comes off sometimes, and I know this from personal experience, what comes off sometimes as resentment. You know what I mean? So a lot of mothers are leading their mothering with their hurt wounds, right? So, and they're pouring that onto their sons, and then their sons come out, and a lot of them probably, I'm thinking as he's talking, I'm thinking a lot of them probably come out not wanting to deal with that, so they're avoiding these situations. But what the lady said in the video, she's exactly right. We're going to have to heal these situations in order to move forward, and we got to get the truth. We got to get our Black mothers healed, right? So, and then we go from there.
Yeah. I mean, it does trickle down to the children. It trickles down to the children. The funny thing is, my kids, like my daughter, I remember she was bullied. A beautiful girl, but she was bullied because she was one of the very few. She was a minority. She was, one of a few Black girls, and they talked about her hair, and they talked about her skin, and they talked about her eyes, and they talked about her lips. My son, they talked about his lips. My other son, they talked about his nose. So like all the Black features, right? All the things that made them Black. And I used to say, y'all just wait till you go to HBCU. All the things that they talking about, they gonna love it. Just wait till you get around some Black people. Like, because this idea of this Eurocentric beauty has been ingrained in the kids. And it wasn't until I pulled them out of California and they went away to HBCUs that they really found their own beauty. And that's something that, because we have the beauty standards on television, when we used to have the video vixens, they were all light skinned, long hair, looking a certain way, or they had to be where you couldn't really tell if they were Black or not, or they had to be exotic, right? And so what does this do, Dr. Alicia, to our children and their self-esteem when you have this type of dialogue?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up adolescence, because adolescence is where a lot of it starts. Get that book, Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria? It's an entire analysis of interviews with interracial high schools, where they're noticed, even in 8th grade, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, they notice a separation between, in the cafeteria, you will see all the Black kids sitting together in the cafeteria, literally, and educators wanted to find out what happens. So there's racial tension. So when you're in elementary school, everybody's friends with everybody.
You're so right. I remember that.
It is something, but something happens. Puberty happens. When puberty happens, that's when you notice you're not getting invited to the birthday parties, especially Black males. They're having their own parties, secluded, and they start realizing there's a racial tension. And you talking to Becky about, that teacher just treated me differently. And Becky's like, what you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. And then therefore the shared experiences brings pubescent teenagers together, and they sit together in the cafeteria because they want to, it's the developmental appropriate things. They want to know what it means to be Black. They want to embrace their Black identity. But Black people who are later puberty, they don't hit puberty till much later in life, they're not necessarily going to sit with the Black kids in the cafeteria because they haven't encountered that. Yeah. So then it gets into the whole dynamic of, okay, if you Black and you're not sitting with the Black kids, and you Black still sitting with your white people, how do they treat them?
Yeah.
So they treat them this way. So puberty plays a lot into how people feel accepted, because if you're not sitting with the Black kids in the cafeteria and you Black, they're going to look at you and say, you're not Black enough.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? You an Oreo, a sellout. Your own people are going to be talking bad about you because you're not there. And so what does this do with your dating preferences?
Yeah.
So that's another dynamic there. Get that book. Yeah.
That's interesting. We're going to go to commercial, but that is very interesting, because I remember in elementary school, like, everybody was my friend. And I remember being so nervous the first day of junior high, like, I got to go find my friends. And they no longer had an interest to hang out with me. So I naturally veered towards the Black kids, and all the kids that I went to elementary school with, we all had our own cliques. Like, the Asians were with the Asians, the white was with the whites. And now I have new friends. And that was interesting. But it absolutely does happen like that. And then to Foolish Things' point, I do understand there are, like, mean Black girls. We can't even lie. There are mean Black girls out there that are just mean. I remember we used to just talk about some of them little boys. I remember there was a boy who was 13, but he looked like he was 36, and we used to call him Lou Rawls. So there are people like me who are probably mean to some of the boys that probably will never date a Black girl. I mean, it just is what it is. But those are children. Those are kids. As you grow up, you should grow out of that. But let's go over to a commercial.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
So my point is saying about the Lou Rawls thing, not to point out that I'm a mean girl, but we all had our, but at some point we should grow out of this. Like, this 13-year-old should not still be mad at all Black girls for what a 13-year-old child said to him when they were 13. Get over that shit and learn something about yourself so that you can be man the F up. That's all I'm saying. Man up, Joe. Man up. All right. So we're going to go to our final video, and then we'll have a discussion around that.
Fellas, I don't think y'all really realize how suspect and how sassy y'all look. Because a lot of you troll women for being a single mom, you know, as if they just the scum of the earth, just all to be damned. You troll women for being successful, having a decent career, as if they should be penalized for their success. They're deemed as too masculine, too independent, and it doesn't create space for you to step up and feel needed. You shame women 30, 35, or 40 that happen to be single in a way where it's like, well, something wrong with her. She shouldn't be single at this age. You know, she hit the wall. Ha ha. That's corny. Or you shame women that's young in their prime because now you got to question their faithfulness or their loyalty. Man, she probably gonna use you, man. She probably just want the bag. She probably just set you up. What do you like, fellas? What do you want? Because it damn sure don't sound like you want a woman. So you got to ask yourself, do you really want to be with a woman? Or do you really need to figure this thing out for your sexuality? Because that's ungodly sassiness from a lot of men that I see today.
Not the ungodly sassiness. Woo! The ungodly sassiness. I mean, for a man to be in a woman's business in that way, it does sound a little sass, right? Sassafras. Yo, Lala, what?
I ain't mad at him. You cannot continue to have triple standards for us. You know, at some point you have to look at your community as well, men. How many babies do you have with these women that now you are claiming they're not worthy of your time? You need to look at yourself before you start pointing fingers, because them glass houses, they sure do crumble. So I believe that he definitely has a point. And the whole thing is you just can't point fingers and not look at yourself. Yeah. So there's deeply rooted things that he said in that video that I totally agree with. But then I would agree with it if it was a woman saying the same thing, because honestly, what are we doing to ourselves? We're not healing if we're continuing to put these stereotypes in and continue to roll with those stereotypes. At some point, we have to heal so that our community can heal and we can thrive as a community, period.
Yeah, that's true. I choose better to say, when I was younger, I would overlook it. A lot of Black guys did something crazy because in my head, I just knew that was just one idiot. Now it's too many of them with strange behavior. It's a whole epidemic. Aisha, what did you think about the ungodly sassiness that he talked about in the video?
I think that was so funny, but he's right. Right, you can't have triple standards, like Lala was saying. You have to see what role do you play in that space, because you're not out of it. You're in that picture frame. So stop acting as if you're out of the picture. You're in that picture frame as well. So what are we going to do about that, right? And I think that's what he was saying. What are you going to do about it? You're sassing that she has a lot of kids from different fathers. Well, who are those fathers? They're Black men, right? You're sassing that she has a career. Okay, then what does you want? She's allowed. What do you want, right? So, but you're in the picture frame as well, because you can't remove yourself from who you are. No matter how far you try to get away from it, that you're still part of who you are. The goal, like Lala also said, is healing. We have to heal collectively as a people and find a way to work together to heal the wounds that have been inflicted from the beginning. Because in everything, just like in a marriage or in raising your children, you always have to go back to the beginning. But when you go out to the beginning, you unravel it. You don't stay there, then you fix it, right? So he's right. Stop the sassiness on our beautiful mothers and sisters and aunties, and see how you can play a role to fix the problem.
Yeah, I agree. Silver Freak, he said we anti-gay because we was talking about the sassafras. The men all up in women's business. We anti-gay now, Silver Freak. You crazy. Yeah, y'all comments is wild, and you guys keep them coming. I'm loving it. I'm loving the good stuff. I'm loving the bad stuff. I'm loving the debates. We love to see it. So keep the comments coming in the comment section, because we ain't scared. But I absolutely love it. Dr. Alicia,
yeah,
when he talked about about the ungodly. What do you say? The ungodly sassiness. But all the other things that he said as well. What's your thought? I think he hit it on the head. What you think?
Oh, I think he hit it on the head exactly. And I was just thinking about how the divorce rate of interracial couples is quite high.
Is it?
Much higher than same race couples. And as researchers, we're always trying to look and examine what's going on here. And really, at the end of the day, if you're a Black man and you're trying to talk about situations of racism, and you're telling your story about racism and discrimination, it needs to land on somebody that can really understand.
Right.
And I think when you're talking to Becky, so to speak, and Becky don't quite get it,
they don't.
But a Black woman does.
Yeah.
And relationships are difficult in and of itself, but to have the cultural differences there too, sometimes it makes it even more difficult. I'm not saying that these relationships can't work. I'm just saying that you have regular relationship stuff to overcome, and then you have cultural differences on top of that. So it just puts a lot of stress. Then you have stress from the external world. I wish, now that I'm saying all that I've said, I really wish that all of us would be a little more compassionate about interracial couples, because there's real children involved.
It's tough. Yeah.
And they want to see their mom, at the end of the day, human beings. So we have to look at that dynamic as well.
I love that.
There's people in hurt feelings and everything that's also involved in there. And children who don't want to see negative comments about their mom and their dad being together. So we do need to listen, the enemy is racism. The enemy is not the actual person. The Black men are doing what they can to survive. Listen, we lived in a world with systematic exclusion of Black people to fully participate in United States of America.
Right. Yeah.
Excluded. So being a little more compassionate, the enemy is not a Black man who goes and marries a white woman. The enemy is racism. And this is what we see as the fallout. So I think we should shift our dislike to the system of racism and not the people who are doing what they can to survive.
Yeah, that's the bigger picture, right? But they don't understand that because they've been so blinded by racism. But Silver Freak, so I need you to have some basic comprehension skills, because when I'm talking about women's business, I'm not talking about this women's business. When the gentleman was talking about how men be talking about women, right? You talking about a woman is still single. Why is she single? You talking about a woman who got all these kids. Why she got all these kids? That's the woman's business that we talk about. We'd love for you to participate and join the conversation here. This is not women's business. I'm saying for a man to be sitting up here talking about a woman and what she's doing with her life, that's sassy as shit. Now, if you say, I need a man does not define me, sweetheart. A man is not the prize. A man is not what defines a successful person. So you need a man is not you. That's not a dig, because it don't make me none either way. But to each his own. But Joe, what did you think of the video from a male perspective?
First, take it from me, Silver Freak. Do not argue with this person. You cannot win on no levels. She does not care about anything that you're saying. It is
At
not
all.
in any way. So just turn around, brother.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, turn around. This ain't gonna get what you want. You ain't gonna get what you want doing that. But listen, I'm listening to that and I'm like, yeah, the brother's right. But I also I think that a lot of brothers, a lot of people have reached a point when we're tired of having these kind of conversations with other men. You know what I mean? And women too. Like when they come out and you lead with criticism, all right, you to justify your preferences. Okay, when you lead with overgeneralizations to justify your preferences, that is clearly coming from a place of hurt, and you need healing. Okay, you need to sit down and process why you feel this way, because you shouldn't have to, talk crazy about numbers 2, 3, and 4 to justify your preference for number 1. That's just not. Just be positive, because ultimately we are in a situation where we cannot afford, even if we're not dating each other, we can't afford against each other. We just cannot. All right. Your preference is your preference. Who you love is who you love. And I'm not gonna support anybody leaning away from their authenticity. So you should date whoever it is that you love. But when you are leading again with criticisms and generalizations, you are not helping the situation. You are making things worse for us as a community, because whether you date a white man, you still black. Whether you date a white girl or Hispanic girl, you still black. You are still within this community, and it does not benefit you at all to weaken any parts of the community. Serves you no benefit.
Amen. Shout out to Silver Freak. I know you watching on my stream. Make sure you subscribe to I Am Constance Carter while you over there watching. Thank you.
Call me a simp? Damn,
Yeah.
Silver Freak, you call me a simp?
Yeah. So there's do we have one more commercial? I think we got one more. Yes. Yep.
Hi, I'm Marlo Layson, and I am an SEO strategist and business growth expert, and I'm partnering with the Fly Nubian Money Club to help you grow your business or personal brand. You know that social media page or website that you've been trying to get traffic to but couldn't? Or maybe you're a brand that wants to connect with just the right audience. Well, I've helped my clients achieve 100% success using data-informed techniques, metrics, and SEO strategies to help them grow. And now it's your turn. Join me on Saturday, March 8th at 11 a.m. Eastern for our SEO class, where you'll learn how to use keywords to attract the right audience, the SEO tools and analytics that you need to help track and grow your business, and of course, how to turn your website visitors into paying customers. So join me, Fly Nubian Money Club, SEO, let's grow.
Yo, this is what you want. You definitely want to increase your search engine optimization. If you have a business, you have a product, you have a service. In order for people to see your business, you need to be able to be shown. And you could have the best business in the world, but if nobody sees it, then it's not going to make a difference. So this is going to be an amazing training. This is actually next Saturday with Marlo Layson. She is so dope and amazing, and I'm looking forward to taking everything in on this training on March 8th, 2025. So this is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. So let me go back to the best comment that I've seen is my most important desire is for our people to win our liberation from white supremacy. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's the real objective and task for us all. And so that, as we have these on, just a very small minority of people who we can care less about, right? Because what they eat don't make us shit. And there are people who have these opinions, but majority of us don't. We understand, I think, what's at play here, which is a lot of systematic racism. And you have those few that Harriet Tubman would have shot. And these suckers are probably a couple of the ones that Harriet Tubman would have shot. So, but they are nothing in the grand scheme of our movement and our revolution as Black people. So, in any case, I want to look at a few stats. Let's look at some of these slides just to kind of, drive this home a little bit more. There is an idea of the angry Black woman, right? It's been used to silence us. And then, like Dr. Alicia said, you have these Italians, you have these Greeks who are more aggressive than Black women, and it's revered. And so why is that? Some men feel Black women have high standards or are too demanding in relationships. We just have standards. We're just not going to let you treat us any kind of way. And then others argue that Black women have had to be strong out of necessity. Oh, that's absolutely 100% true. Let's go to the next slide. Some agree with the man's statement, say that they've had similar experiences. Others push back, arguing that the real issue is emotional immaturity and maybe a small penis. Many women feel that Black men are the only group that openly criticizes their own women in public spaces, which I 100% agree. I also want to go to the comments from the first simp that we showed. There were some comments there that I thought were really good. Look at this fool. He don't even look like he's from this planet. But anyway, this one said, this is the one who called Black women mud and white women snow. She said, you can choose a white woman without putting a Black woman down. Yeah, leave us alone. Trump, please put the heaviest tariffs on podcast equipments. Very cringe. I also hate that we share these videos and give them attention that they don't deserve. 100%. I've never had to curse steak to enjoy my love for fish. Exactly. So if you love Becky, you love Becky, but you ain't got to put down Sharonda because you love Becky. Unhealed Black men who don't know how to lead. Ooh, let's right there. Let's say that one more time. Unhealed Black men who don't know how to lead and still think a strong Black woman is a threat. His mind is weak. If you don't want to date a Black woman, don't bring her down. Your mom, your sis, your aunties, your granny are Black. Think as a man before you open your mouth, punk ass ninja. Had to add that ass ninja on there. On the face, it sounds crazy, but if the man's experiences are unpleasant, then it's his choice to share them and choose differently. Okay, yeah, choose your experiences, but don't paint us all with a broad brush. So now they're on podcasts talking about Black women with the white women. That's the thing that got me. You're gonna sit up in this white woman's face and down talk up. You just, that's the epitome of weak and whack. The convo seems disingenuous when in the room with another bunny hopper and his bunny. Seems more like pandering. Fuck these weak ass dudes. The colonizer mentality will forever divide us. I don't see men from other races speaking so negatively about women. Wow, so much to unpack in that clip. Plot twist. Everybody bullies him. I think that's the biggest thing of this whole thing is everybody. He's just a weakling. He's just weak. He has a small penis. He's very insecure about himself. And he got with a Black girl and she'd been with somebody that was packing. And she told his little small penis ass that his ass didn't have nothing to work with. That's what was really going on. Anyway, we're going to go through final thoughts. I'm going to start with you, Aisha. What is your final thought and where could we find you?
That was so funny. Your comments. Final thoughts. Really, you are in the picture frame, so there's no need to poke fun on you. You're in the picture. You're there in the picture with your family, whether you like it or not, and your family is the Black people, and you can choose to love who you want to love, and not have to bring anybody down. Because when you bring other people down because of your preference, it really just shows your own weakness. Because we can love whoever we want to love without having to bring down other people. And there's no need for that. So that's my final thought. But you can find me at aishaverzi.com. If you care about protecting and preserving and transferring your wealth properly, let's talk. I can help. www.aishaverzi.com. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you. All right. We're going to go to Joe.
Yeah, I'll just keep it short, man. We need each other. I'm going to say that every single day that I get an opportunity to say it. We can't afford this kind of nonsense. So if you're in a room and you hear a man, a Black man, whatever, talking about Black women like this, or you hear a Black woman generalizing or criticizing Black men, then you don't have to, but it'd be good if you spoke up, because we need everybody in every room that we're not in to hold us down. And that's just what I believe. I'm gonna stick to that. I'm gonna do my best to keep sending as many healed Black men out in the world as I can. And I do that, by putting them on my couch, and Black women. I'm talking to a lot of Black women as well. And I'm just trying to heal these wounds, because that's all I'm on. And I see them, and I know it's a tall task, but if I just make a little bit of ripple in my little corner of the ocean, then that's all I can do, and I'm good with that. So realuconsulting.com. Tonight, Vulnerability is the New Sexy, the podcast, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. So whatever time zone you're in, we're talking about how far men can go, or how far men cannot go without a great woman behind them. We're having that conversation about what success looks like for men with and without a woman behind them. So please join me. I liked some of the comments y'all was giving out today. I hope y'all come back tonight and push me like y'all pushed these women here today.
Platypus said, listen to the woman saying one of the best martial artists in the world is getting bullied. No, he said that. Clarify. He said that. Dr. Alicia.
Okay, so I don't think there's no other group of people that have endured what we have endured in America. Black people in America are unique, and our experiences is comparable to none. So we need to keep that in mind when we look at each other and look at our history with each other. So if you want to interested in working with me, you can contact me at Coaching with Dr. Alicia. Thank you.
All right. And we're going to round it up with Miss La La. La 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 La. Miss, you got to finish it.
I love you.
She can sing for real. She can sing for real.
And that's what it's all about. So listen, I'm having a really serious issue with Silver Freak, and I feel like I need to address it in my final thoughts. Obviously, you are a troll, but if you're not, and you are a Black man who is seriously standing behind the comments that you are putting up here, then you are the problem. We don't need this in our community. It makes me concerned for our communities. You need to stop worrying about other people's bedrooms when you can't even handle your own bedroom. The fact that you continue to spit out inconsistency, racist, and misogynist comments tells me a lot about you. Now, trolls we expect, but if you are a brother who really feels like this, I need you to call Joe immediately to get on his couch, because we don't need you in this community at all. Not even a little bit, nor do we desire you or want you. You don't even give us a chance to show what real love is, because you already have your own biases in your own mind. So you can leave. You're dismissed, because what you have said is full of shit, and it does not help us in our show at all. You got the attention that you needed. I hope that you're happy. Now proceed with your day, because obviously you're one miserable son of a bitch. If you would like to be serious and you're thinking about moving out of the country, or, you know, moving into your own home, because wealth is how you build, and that's how you build generational wealth, you can find me at www.laurakey.net. I have a lot of free resources there for you. And you need to understand that you're not stuck in the United States. If you're ready to explore, and maybe explore love in a different country, there is nothing wrong about that. So love is love. Be blessed and be a good human, because that's what it's all about. www.laurakey.net.
First of all, Silver Freak, before you leave, hold on, Silver Freak, don't leave. We got the Dusty Ass Award of the day. Woo! And it goes to you, Silver Freak. You are the Dusty Ass Award of the day. I want you to go. Everybody, let's give Silver Freak a round of applause for being the dusted Negro of the day. Oh, Berber. He calls himself a Berber. Whatever the hell that means. You know what? These hoteps come up with everything, don't they? They come up with anything. I'm Native American. Everything but African. I'm Berber. Okay, you Berber, you Indian. Okay, yeah, whatever. So anyway, y'all, this conversation was definitely loaded, because we had some Dusties just like old Berber man over there. And I know that we barely scratched the surface, but at the end of the day, relationships come down to understanding, communication, and mutual respect. So whether you agree with this man or not, and dusty ass Berber man, Silver Freak, these kind of conversations give us a chance to really unpack deeper issues in our community, which is very necessary sometimes. But I have a question. What do you think? Are Black women really bullies in relationships, or is this just another whack ass dude claiming something that he believes to be true because he wants to date a snow bunny? He wants to bunny hop. I'm really with Dr. Umar. No snow bunnies, no rice. What did he say? No sand. Anyway, drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, stay fly, stay Nubian, and stay making your money. Now, everybody, make sure that if you want to hear us every day live, you can come see us every day, 1 p.m. Eastern, same bat time, same bat channel. And if you want to listen to us on Spotify, go to Spotify and search for Fly Nubian Money. We over there if you want to listen to us, but you can't look at us. And finally, if you want to get notified, or if you want goodies from Dr. Boyce or anything that comes out of the Black Business School, make sure you text word Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. This was an amazing topic. I'm so glad that we were able to have it. And you know what? La la for the win, y'all. La la for the M and F and win, y'all. Was he quiet? Did he say anything else? Silver Freak gone? Is he gone? Is he gone? He's still talking? He gone. Ooh. Hopefully he saw his Dusty Award.
I think the award got him.
Get your dusty ass up out of here, Silver Freak. But make sure you subscribe to Constance Carter before you go. All right, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Peace.